Hello students, in today's video, which is dedicated to advanced players, we will learn how to play against King's Indian defense. I will show you Fianchetto variation. I will show you very good system for white in Fianchetto variation. Okay, Fianchetto variation arises after the next move order, so this plan with development of the bishop on g2. It is called Fianchetto variation, very solid system. So in this video I will show you first of all how to play against knight b to d7, and then I will show you how to play against knight to c6. Okay, knight b to d7, here white has a very good, so the most popular continuation is knight to c3, but my recommendation is to start with queen c2. I recommend you this plan. So e5 is the main option, and now rook to d1. The idea of this plan is to take on e5. This is a threat. So this plan forces black to take on d4, or the second idea is queen e7. Otherwise the normal continuation, queen e7, c6 doesn't work because of d takes e5, d takes e5, and knight to e5, and the knight is pinned. Okay, queen to e7, and now knight to c3. c6, the good option. Now is e4, normal continuation. Okay, rook to 8. And now you have to remember this is a waiting move b3. White's idea is white is expected for e takes d4, knight takes d4, and knight c5, f3, and so we expect, and this is a critical position of the whole line. Now very important for black is to play knight f to d7. So the idea is to meet bishop to e3 with f5 break. This is a very unpleasant pawn push. You have to remember it. Now this doesn't work because of queen to e3. So unfortunately for white, bishop e3 doesn't work, and here you have to know that this knight c to e2, this is a waiting continuation, is very good here. a5, rook to b1, and knight to e5. Other move for black is to play h3, h5. Now we have h3, very good move. And in case of knight to f8, bishop to b2, and white is slightly better, for example. Queen to d2, knight to g5, rook to e1. So it was played in the game of Milan Drashka. White has a clear advantage, and finally white won this game, but I'm not sure. Okay, and what about knight to e5? So in case of knight to e5, we have a3 option. Yes, very important to attack this knight. This is a typical idea to kick away this knight from c5 square. So what to do? And now bishop d7, b4, a takes, knight to e6, for example. And now f4. Yeah, and now so this knight is trapped. Okay, and this is a main position, but also we have to know what to do in case of the waiting continuation a6. Also, it's not waiting continuation, the idea to play b5 in the right moment, and also this is a useful move. So what to do here? Here my recommendation is to play bishop to e3. And after b5, c takes, a takes, h3, and after bishop b7, a4, and white is slightly better again. Okay, now a few words about how to play against another plan. For example, in case of queen e7, rook e8, e4, e takes, knight takes, and now knight to c5, knight to c3, and a5, for example. This is a typical idea. This setup is very popular against the normal knight c3 move instead of queen c2. But in this case, white has knight d2, knight to b5, very strong move, very typical idea to prevent c6. And this type of position is very unpleasant for black. For instance, queen c8. So bishop e3. You have to remember that this is a main idea in this setup for white to develop the bishop on e3, b6, rook to e1, bishop to e6, b3, rook to e7, g4. Okay, so this is a very unpleasant position for black, no counterplay. White has a huge positional edge due to the space advantage. Okay, so, and this doesn't work. This is very good for, this is not good idea. This is not good setup for black. What about c6 and knight c5? This is also very typical against a normal setup without queen c2, rook d1. But here knight b3 works very well. So, for example, takes, this pawn is very weak, bishop to g4, 3, bishop e6, bishop to e3, queen to e7, bishop to f2, a6, queen to d2, so this pawn is very weak. Okay, and again, white has a clear positional advantage, no counterplay for black, very difficult to create some counterplay, and very unpleasant position. Now a few words about very important idea, a6, and then rook b8. So black's idea is to play knight c5 or to play c5 to attack this knight, and then b5. So what to do? My recommendation is to play a4 and to prevent b5 idea. And now in case of c5, there is a very strong move with knight to f3, and now bishop to f4, and black is in trouble. For example, knight to e4, queen b3, or for example knight to e5, take, and bishop to g5, for example, then knight to d5, very unpleasant position for black. So what about knight to e5? Now queen e2, yeah, very important, queen e2, not b3, queen e2. The idea that after c5 we have a good square for this knight on c2. And white has a very big positional advantage here. So, and what about a5? Typical idea. Now we have a very good square for the knight. But, despite that this knight is very strong on c5, So this type of position is also very unpleasant for black, for instance. Yeah, and all this was happened in the game of Alexander Sulipa, and again after typical knight d to b5, white has a big positional advantage due to the due to the fact that no counterplay again for black, c6 doesn't work because of this, a lot of space for white and very bad position. So now a few words about knight to c6. So knight to c6, knight to c3, and bishop to f5. What to do? What to do against this plan? Yeah, now I recommend you d5, knight to e5, and knight to h4. Very interesting idea. It was played first in the correspondence games. Yeah, well, the idea that this doesn't work because of this in queen to 3 double attack, and after this white has a clear positional advantage due to the bishop pair, and black's king is very weak. And in case of bishop to d7, there is very important move b3, and after c5 bishop d2, a6, and now very important idea queen d2, b5, and now knight to d1. Very nice idea. The point that after b takes e4, there is a very strong move bishop c3 to attack this knight, and in case of this, you can take, and then this knight is horrible. Okay, for instance, take, e4, e5, d takes e5, bishop takes e6, and 4. bc5, f5, bishop to d7, and b takes e4, and white has a big positional advantage.